Welcome to Rewatch and Rank. On this channel, we rewatch older TV shows, provide a summary and opinion on the episode before ranking each episode against each other. Today's episode is Bleach, Soul Society, The Snake Entry Arc, Episode 35, Aizen Assassinated, The Darkness Which Approaches. Episode in a nutshell is a brief summary of what happened in the episode. So the episode begins where the last left off, with Hinamori discovering Aizen's body. She at first wails that he is presumably deceased, and then remembers Hitsugaya telling her to watch out for Squad 3. She then happens to see Gin standing at the end of the walkway that they're at and decides he must be responsible despite no evidence whatsoever other than Hitsugaya's kind of cryptic warning earlier. And so she then decides to attack him, and that forces Kira, even though he's her friend, to stop her because she can't just attack, a captain for no reason. So he then defends and tries to calm her down, unsuccessfully, unfortunately, until Hitsugaya arrives, and then he decides to arrest both of them for Hinamori's actions. Then we kind of have Ichigo and Hanataro and Ganju still in the sewers where their wounds are healed, so they then start heading up to where they were before. When they make it out, they're surprised that there's like very low security in the area, but they just consider it that, they've let down their guard because they don't expect them to go to the same place twice. And so they do make it up the very long staircase to the level of Soul Society where the Tower of Penitence is, or Shrine of Penitence is, that Rukia is being held in. However, as soon as they make it up to the top of the stairs, they are severely pressured, and we see Kenpachi's silhouette in the distance. And then the last little side story that we have in this episode is that Chad is making his way towards where he needs to go. It starts with him hiding in like a little bit of a storehouse. Then the door is broken down by Shinigami. We then see the aftermath where he has defeated all of the Shinigami, except one is still remaining. He asks that Shinigami where the Shrine of Penitence is so that he can head there. And then as he's heading there, we have Shunsui, who's one of the captains, preparing to intercept him on his way. So that was everything that happened in this episode. As always, we will rank on our two ranking lists. We have the mostly objective ranking list first, followed by the personal ranking list. Now we start with our mostly objective rank values. So first we have our multi-arc supporting character growth, and this is where we learn the names of the Zanpakuto of Hinamori and Kira. So Hinamori's is called Tobiyume, and then Kira's is called Wabasuke. We then have our multi-arc supporting character development, which is that Hinamori causes both her and Kira to be arrested by Hitsugaya. And both of those incidents are worth 4 points each, bringing us to 6. Then we have our multi-arc main character development. And this is that we do get a brief flashback while Chad's kind of sitting in the warehouse waiting for the door to be broken down to when he and Ichigo first met, where Ichigo was being beaten up. Chad saves him and intervenes, asks him why they were beating him up. Ichigo says he's fine and that if they didn't have like weapons on them, he would have won, and the only reason they were beating up on him was because his hair is a non-typical color for Japan, and they therefore took offense to it. And then Ichigo asks him, isn't it the same for you? Because obviously Chad is I'm not sure his background exactly. I think he's supposed to be Spanish, but I'm not positive. Either way, he's also very large and looks different because he is very large. And so they then head out of the alley together and so presumably are then friends ever since. And that brings us to 10 points overall. But of course, we do have the negative messaging or behaviors. And this, of course, is worth -2 points. And we have obviously accusations without any sort of evidence, bad bad move, bad behavior. If you're going to accuse somebody of something, at least have some small grain of evidence to suggest it was them. I know she had that cryptic warning, but hey, watch out for these people. They're, acting a bit shady and oh my gosh, this person definitely 100% murdered my captain are very far apart. Like completely different. Like because the warning was cryptic, it could have been more about like, watch out for them, they're harassers, rather than like murderers. Like you don't because it was such a cryptic warning and just like a idle like, hey, watch out for them, it's not enough evidence to decide that you're going to kill somebody in retaliation for a crime that you have no idea or evidence as to whether or not they have committed it. In my opinion. That is just terrible. And then on top of that, she drags down her friend who tries to get her to see reason, who tries to get her to stop, and then he ends up being arrested for trying to help her. Like her getting arrested. Yeah, you attack somebody without due cause for no reason, without evidence. I mean, obviously she had a reason in her head, but like one that a court would accept. You had no reason to attack this person. Somebody then tries to stop you, and now not only are you arrested as you should be, but that innocent person who was trying to help you and calm you down and stop you from making a terrible mistake has now been arrested as well, undeservedly, all because of the bias that Hitsugaya has because he clearly likes Hinamori. He threatens Gin that, oh, you can't touch Hinamori, even though Hinamori is the one who's been doing all the bad behavior and Hinamori is the one who should have been arrested. And so, like, you've got, like, the officer bias, you've got the attacking with no evidence, and then you've got dragging your friends down because you both ended up arrested, even though only you should have been. All negative messaging or behavior, however, I did decide just to lump all of those into one because they were all relating to the same incident and were all Hinamori's bad behaviors. And so it's just 1 -2, bringing us to an 8 out of 10. And that brings our mostly objective ranking list to in first, enter the world of the Shinigami, the man who hates Shinigami, assemble the Gotai 13, formation, the worst tag, the resolution to kill, Renji's confrontation, the star and the stray dog, 14 days before Rukia's execution, tragedy of dawn, Aizen assassinated, the darkness which approaches, penetrate the center with an enormous bombshell, Orihime targeted, release the death blow, break through the Shinigamis, encompassing formation, and then Mirako, the mysterious new hero, is in 15th. And that now brings us to the personal ranking. Now, as I believe should have been clear, I did not enjoy the start of this episode at all. I think any goodwill I had towards the character of Hinamori is completely out the window because, wow, that was terrible behavior. And I understand, oh, it's emotional. Her boss essentially died, but it's like, it's your boss. It's not your lover. It's not your family. It's not even really a friend. It's a coworker that died. And yes, that's sad, but I don't think you need to be over the top wailing about it. I don't think you need to be dragging your friends down for it. I don't think you need to be attempting murder for it without evidence to suggest that the person you're trying to murder is actually in any way responsible for it. Ultimately, I did not like that part. I did not like that character anymore. I just felt it was all bad news, bad behavior, wasn't on board, did not like, brought the whole mood down. And then the rest of the episode was, touching base with Ichigo and friends that are with him, and then touching base with Shadow. I did like that we got the flashback to them meeting and the aftermath of that where they do become friends. I do like the foreshadowing for the fight with Chad and the captain, Shunsui, and then the fight between Ichigo and Kenpachi coming up, which is one of my favorites. So that added some excitement back right at the end, but I couldn't undo the negative feelings that I had towards the start of the episode, which is why, on a personal level, I gave it a 3 out of 10. And that then brings our personal ranking list to in first, the resolution to kill, enter the world of the Shinigami, Miracle, the mysterious new hero, formation, the worst tag, penetrate the center with an enormous bombshell, Renji's confrontation, the star and the stray dog, assemble the Gotai 13, 14 days before Rukia's execution, release the death blow, break through the Shinigami's encompassing nets. I think I said formation on the last list, it's net. Tragedy of Dawn, The Man Who Hates Shinigami, this episode was 14th. Aizen Assassinated, The Darkness Which Approaches, and then in 15th so far we had Inoue Targeted. And that now brings us to the series ranking so far. Our first arc, Agent of the Shinigami arc, ended at 84% on our mostly objective ranking. And Soul Society, the Sneak Entry arc, it has so far earned 116 out of 210 points. On the personal ranking, we have the first arc at 63%, and the second arc so far has 86 out of 210 points. And with that, we've now rewatched and ranked Bleach, Soul Society, The Sneak Entry Arc, Episode 35, Aizen Assassinated, The Darkness Which Approaches. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you in the next episode.